Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 6 Degrees of KB. I'm KB, your local realtor, your connection maker, your host for the show, just connecting the community authentically through conversation. So today I have with me Gjoko. Oh my gosh, welcome.
Thank you.
Oh
Thank you
my,
for having me.
I'm so glad that you're here. So the first thing I always want to ask my guests is, how did we connect? How did we meet? What was that first step? Do you
That
remember?
that I do remember, like it was yesterday,
Let's talk about
actually.
it.
It was funny because it was like people will say coincidence, but I don't think like it was a coincidence. I
So
think I was meant to be there.
So John Green Realtor
Yeah.
had their grand opening. It was
Yes.
a community, or it was a chamber event. It was
Yes.
the ribbon cutting ceremony. I pretty much was running the whole thing because, right, like I'm making sure the drinks were full, making sure the photography was going, making sure the music was loud enough, also entertaining all of the guests that were there. And I think there was like over 100 people
There
there
was a
that
lot
day,
of people. Live
right?
music, like food, live
Yeah.
music,
And there were
drinks.
no surprise guests. I knew everybody who was there except for you. You came over to
Really?
me. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, that is
I go to
crazy.
these events every month or, how as
Wow.
often as I can. And you come walking over, you introduce yourself to me. I'm like, whose husband is this? Like, who is this guy? Who, right? Like, who brought him?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you introduce yourself to me, and I'm like,
It's so
oh, you're
funny.
a new member. That's awesome. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. I think Allison had a little bit to do with it, right? Allison Ramey
Yes.
might have introduced us
Yeah.
officially.
She kind of like pointed me in the direction. She's like, go talk to people in that direction. I'm like, okay, I love it. But she did tell me about the event because, like, a couple hours prior, I went to the chamber office and
Okay.
I'm like, well, Allison, I've got this thing and how do I meet people? And she's like, well, we have this great event. You should come to the event later
I
and
love it.
meet, some of the members.
Anytime
And
somebody talks to me about not being successful enough in their business, I'm like, have you been to the chamber? Because
yeah,
they can really help you.
yeah,
So I'm glad that you are a perfect success story of that exactly, because we met in the summer
so
of last year, right?
I would say
Anyhow, it was before
was
cruise
summer.
nights. So it was before the
No,
summer
it
took
was
off.
summer. You're right.
So it's not even been a year yet. And I'm watching you and your business just boom. So
Thank you.
talk about it. Let's talk about it. So it's GJD.
It's GJD Photography, and photography spelled with an F. It's a little homage to my German past because
Okay.
I grew up in Germany basically a little
Okay.
bit for 10 years.
So I know what you do. You do podcasts, you do photography. I
Yeah,
know that on a personal level.
yeah.
What else do you do at your company?
I focus mostly on helping small businesses with content creation, whether that is video or photo, meaning marketing videos, branding, photography, elevating, I like to say, elevating your brand, right? Making sure that it's not just a brand that's like, amongst all these others, but to make it stand out
Okay.
and to become a subject matter expert in their field. So, yeah,
Well, I've seen you shine quite a
thank you.
bit.
That is so nice.
So
Thank you.
shortly after meeting you, I got an email and you wanted to know if I would be on your podcast. And I got to be honest with you. When I first saw this, I'm like, I don't know this guy. He wants me to go to an office that I've never even heard of. Like, I don't even know where it's at. I've never heard of your business
Yeah.
before. I've never seen a podcast that you had released because I think I was one of your first people that
Yes,
you
you were.
interviewed,
Yes,
right?
you were. Yeah.
So, in true KB fashion, sure, sign me up. Put me on the
I
books.
love that.
Let's do
Like,
it.
it was so amazing, like when I met you, because I think that was my purpose of coming to the meeting, of finding guests for my podcast.
Sure.
And then when Allison was like, well, there's going to be a ton of people. And I was sitting at this table, and I don't know who it was, but they were like, well, go inside, there is food, meet people around drinks and that. And then I go inside and I see you literally by the door. And I'm like, "Hi, I'm Joko, and would you like I heard about you, KB, nice to meet you. Would you want to be on the podcast?" And then you just looked at me like, "Who is this guy?"
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Like literally, like, "Who are you? What podcast? What are you talking about?" And I was like, it was such a nice, like, unique moment. I think I felt really good connecting with a lot of people on that day, and a lot of my first episodes were by people that I met there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, fast forward a few weeks later, I
Mm.
pull up to your office. I walk into your studio, which is amazing.
Thank you.
And I didn't realize that you had sent me an email that had a list of questions in it so I could prepare myself. Meanwhile, I'm showing up not really knowing if this is a
What's gonna
scam.
happen?
Like, am I going to get murdered? I don't know what's going on.
I love it.
And all the while, here's little old calm Gjoko, who I felt like it was a therapy session, to be honest with you.
Thank
You
you.
have such a calm presence, and your questions were so deep, and you were so good. So thank you for letting me be on
Absolutely.
your show and
Yeah.
giving me that podcast. I mean, if nothing else, to be able to show that to Gavin and years to come is just really cool. But to be able to promote it to the community that we live in and thrive in, like
Mm,
to share stories of my past, to share stories of my journey. Thank you for just giving me that. I appreciate it. And what you're doing is just so incredible.
thank
I've
you.
been telling you that since the minute I met you.
Yeah.
I just think it's just wonderful. I just think it's so cool what you're doing for this community. Obviously, our relationship has grown since
Yes, it
then.
has. Yes, it has.
Because shortly after that, I started seeing all these videos pop up, and I'm like, I know that person. I know that person. I know her too. I know him too.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you got introduced to Plainfield Masterminds. Love it. Love that you're rocking the swag. It's so amazing.
Rocking the swag.
So, Plainfield Masterminds obviously is the networking group that
Yes.
Jeff Burgess and I have created. And you were volunteered to be in the group by many because everybody started falling in love with you very
Thank
quickly.
you.
And since then, I mean, we're a group of 22 or 23
22,
members.
23. Yeah.
I mean, have you interviewed every single one of them at this point? Because I feel
Um,
like I've watched you grow every one of their businesses in this short amount of time. I mean,
Thank you.
I hope that you're so proud of yourself. You're really using your talent to do what you're meant to do on this earth and help others
Yeah.
grow. It's amazing. I love watching you.
Thank you. It's I have not interviewed everybody yet
Okay.
because I mean it's normal. People are shy in front of camera, like they
Sure.
get flustered. I get
Sure.
it. I mean
Sure.
even me, like sometimes I'm like, duh, like I don't know what.
Those are some of my best videos that I watch you actually when you're making a fool of yourself.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
entertaining. Thank you for that.
Making a clown of myself is usually it's entertaining, right? Anything for
Absolutely.
television. I'm just kidding. Like it really means a lot to me too, because it in a way I am involved in like I help people's not only businesses but also on a personal level grow, right? Like
Absolutely.
it's my input and it feels good. It's a nice and fuzzy feeling, warm feeling inside, and I really love it. Like that's literally why I do it,
It's
uh,
amazing.
because I love people's stories. Yeah.
So, what is Joko most passionate about other than helping others grow and other than videos and photography?
Hmm.
What are you passionate about?
I really like music, like anything in the arts, I would say, drawing, music, videos, photography, things where I can be creative, things where I love building stuff myself. So, like craftsmanship, like I built a whole built-in cabinet in our like as soon as you enter the house, the mudroom, whatever they call, like a bench with pull-out drawers. Like I love doing like build outs like
Oh,
that.
that's awesome.
Yeah, floating shelves. So like in my free time, I love to build. I like to create stuff.
I'm going to keep that in mind. I always need a maintenance
I
man
probably
around.
shouldn't have said that. I really hate build outs.
I
But
love
yeah,
it.
I mean, it's anything that has to do with creating something
That's
new.
so cool. Do you have any favorite KB Joko memories that we can share with our viewers?
I just love your outgoing personality.
Thank you.
Like the fact that you really pour your soul and heart into every relationship. You put your own heart on reserve just so that you can be there for somebody else.
That's so sweet of you
Speaks
to say.
volumes of like you as a person, right? And I feel like that's why a lot of people connect with you
You're
on
so
such a
sweet.
deep level.
You're so sweet. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I got the pleasure of introducing Gavin to you in a
Yeah,
different
that was amazing.
aspect. We did our Christmas photos with
Yeah,
you this year. That was so fun.
that was
I
fun.
feel like you have a really good eye. I get nervous when I think about a male photographer
Okay.
because do they have the eye for it, right? My
Mm.
cousin is a photographer and she's done weddings for years and she's like, "Don't ever hire a guy. They
Oh
don't
boy.
know what to look for when they're looking at weddings." And I'm like, "Okay, got it." But we came in with you and had so much fun. I mean, Gavin's not very comfortable around people. You can
Really?
ask a lot of people, even in our group, in our masterminds group, have said things to me like, "You really need to get that kid comfortable with strangers."
Really? Okay.
Absolutely,
I did not have
absolutely.
that.
He was so warmed up right from the start. From the second we
Yeah.
walked in, he was fist pumping and
Yeah.
high-fiving, and there's just something to be said about your demeanor, I think, that you just
Thank
really
you.
have not only an eye for beautiful things, but also just, like, your nature. I think it helps people to be themselves,
Mm.
which says a lot about you. So,
Thank you.
that was a
Yeah.
lot of fun. That was
Yeah,
really
no,
cool.
I really love that. Gavin, oh my God, he is such a great guy. Like I loved it when we were doing the photos here in the studio and he was like, I want to do this. I'm like, no, no, no. First let's do this while mommy's changing, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, but I don't want. I said, okay, well then I'll find something, right? Like the with the bunny thing, we'll
Uh-huh.
make the bunny
Uh-huh.
appear or smile or whatever. He's like, okay, I'll do it. And then he'll go for it. I'm like, man, you're
It was great.
such a cool
You're
kid.
like, "Grab an ornament over there on the top of the
Yeah,
tree,"
yeah.
and you just the way that you capture those moments, like, just
It's
so awesome.
amazing. Thank
It's so
you.
awesome. Of course. Of course. So, what got you into doing what you do now? Like, how long have you been doing this?
So I've been doing it for close to a decade, so to say, but professionally, just this since around COVID time, so
Okay.
2020.
Okay.
I've always loved tinkering with technology, editing softwares like photo editing, video editing, stuff like that. So I've always loved that.
Okay.
I never thought it was going to be something where, my business, right? It's been a minute and it keeps evolving because technology evolves, softwares change, updates, you got newer cameras, new this, new that. So it's hard to keep up sometimes,
Sure.
but it's
Sure.
yeah, it's been a while. I try
Demanding
to
clients who want specific looks or
No, I love
specific
that.
things.
I love that because I actually struggle more with clients that don't know what they want.
Okay.
Because then it's like, what about this? Hate it. Okay. What about this? I like the previous one more. I like crap. Okay. Back to square one. So it's, you have a little bit of both,
So,
I guess, in every industry.
yeah, absolutely. What did you do prior to,
I was a truck driver.
and
Yeah,
how did you go from that to
I
this?
know, right?
It's
I got bored out of my mind,
okay.
to be honest with you. And I was like, like a junkie when they get off of drugs and they're like all the time, like I gotta do something. Like that's how I felt in the truck.
Okay.
Like I wasn't at my full potential, and I wanted to look for something that I would really love doing. With a really low startup cost, so to say,
Sure.
which exponentially grows over time, obviously.
I
But
would think so.
that's when I started honing in on photography because I was like, let me figure this out. Let me buy a camera. I want to get to a level where I don't think about the settings of the camera, but I want to focus on the subject.
Yeah.
And that took me a while. It was a lot of trial and error, taking a camera with me to events on the road, learning software, editing software when I'm, at home. So it was a lot of trial and error and just reading books, watching tutorials.
That's really incredible. Really, it's remarkable to hear that you've taught yourself all of this
Yeah,
and going from one career to an
completely
extremely
different.
different career.
Yeah.
You were by yourself all the time in the
Yes.
truck, I would imagine.
Yes.
Now you're helping people grow their businesses through authentic relationships. I mean, seriously, that's incredible.
Thank you.
So how did you end up in Plainfield?
So I came here through my studies, right?
Okay.
In Mississippi, of all places.
Okay.
But I loved it there, University of Mississippi. And I was there until like 2012, I believe. I moved up here to Chicago. I lived in Willowbrook for a while.
Okay.
And from Willowbrook, moved here to Plainfield.
Okay. Is it
Yeah.
because you heard our chamber was so awesome?
It, that, yes, that was the biggest factor. I didn't even know of the chamber. I didn't like. I had heard of Chamber of Commerce. I'm like, what is that? Like, what kind of a, I had no idea. And
Okay.
then I met a few people from the chamber. I'm like, I gotta sign up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Well, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so
just
glad that
yeah,
you're thriving part of this community. I think anybody who's met you can already say that somehow, some way, you've not only helped them grow, but helped shape us, honestly.
yeah.
You've asked me some really thoughtful questions that have really made me ponder. And just in the duration of our relationship, I just think
Yes.
you have such a big giving heart that anybody who gets to know it is so,
Well,
so
thank you.
lucky. I mean, I feel like I've had some offline therapy sessions with you too, and you're just a really good person.
Thank
So
you.
thank you for sharing
No,
who you
absolutely.
are with me and with the community, with Plainfield Masterminds. I mean, we're
Yeah.
so lucky to have you.
It's really an honor. Like the honor is all mine, honestly, because I want to surround myself with people that appreciate not only what I do for them, but that appreciate doing things for other people as well, if that makes sense.
We kind of got a lot of that in Plainfield.
Yes.
I see it
Yes.
everywhere I go, honestly.
Yes.
Even just the restaurants and bars that we have here. I mean, you
Yes.
meet the people behind the counters and the tables, and really are so lucky to have such an
I
awesome
couldn't
community
agree
here.
more.
Yeah.
That's why I guess Plainfield is like the number one booming town. Like
Booming town, boomtown.
crazy, right?
It is really nuts. It
That
is really
is
nuts. And
nuts.
here we are living in it.
Yeah.
So lucky.
Yeah.
Well, this show is all about finding out what your KB number is. Have you ever heard of Kevin Bacon?
Please enlighten me.
So there's this theory that everyone is somehow connected within 6 people.
Okay.
Kevin Bacon, very famous,
Okay.
obviously, right?
Okay.
And had this game going in the 90s of how many people are we connected through. And
Okay.
so when I think about Gjoko and KB and what our KB number is, I mean, it's pretty crazy how
Yeah.
authentically we met one another at
Yes.
that group. If you're going to use the chamber as a number, I guess you have one, but I would think you really authentically introduced yourself to me. You're a number 1, Gjoko. You
I
are
think
a
so too.
number
I
1.
really think so too. Because there wasn't really a person to be like Joko, Kristen.
Yeah.
It was more like this event is happening.
Yeah.
You're there,
Yeah.
I'm there, and it happened.
That's so
Like,
crazy. I love
yeah,
it. So
I love my
our
number.
number is 1.
Yeah, I love my number.
I love it.
It's just wanted to say, you know, you as a person, I know you're a realtor, right? So you help people find houses, but also build homes,
It's
kind of
really
like
cool.
create a home. And, it's a great thing for you to like connect with the community too, as well. Like people get to know you on a personal level with every home they buy, right?
It's pretty crazy that when you think about it, it's like most people's most expensive
Yeah.
purchase in their lives,
Yeah.
right? And so the idea that I get to help guide people making those decisions, it's kind of a big deal. And more so, I think the thing that resonates with my heart because I'm a, emotional sap is like I get to be part of their story,
Mm,
part of their journey in this decision, but not only their decision, but like in their life, right?
mm,
Whether they're a first time home buyer, they're moving up, they're stepping up, they're downsizing, maybe they're buying a second property, rental property. It's all part of their story. And I just get to be part of that, which
mm.
is so cool. I love
Yeah.
it so much.
What is your favorite property to sell?
I really like working with first time homebuyers. So it's
Okay.
not about the actual home, I guess. It's more or less those people who have a lot of questions. Their brains are like sponges, so they're
Mm,
absorbing so much. They just want to know everything. I think because of my background in mental health and knowing what anxiety is and how that's formed, I'm really trying to give them as much information as possible so that they're making an educated decision based on facts versus emotion, which is where anxiety comes from, right? The fear of the
yes,
unknown.
yes.
So if I can give them all the information to know all the things, which is part of my process, like I sit down with every buyer client, I sit down with every seller to say, here's the process. Let's eliminate any question.
I
So
love
when
it.
we actually start looking at homes, you're not making an uneducated anxiety decision. You're making a decision based on what you know because I've shared
Mm,
with you all the things that I've learned over the
I
years.
love it.
So
That is so nice.
that was a cool question.
Very
Thanks for
eloquently put.
asking.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much for our viewers. This show is all about making connections. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe because who knows, you might be the next degree.